Hey, welcome back to the IFIS podcast. This is Brian.
This is Daryl.
And it could be an AI version of Daryl.
No.
Shortly. It will be.
Ain't nothing like me except me, to paraphrase Rocket.
Yeah. So you have 11% of a plan.
Have more than a concept.
Yeah, truth. Anyway, we are back with episode 469, A Working Man, kind of. So we're going to talk about the Snow Brown box office. We're going to talk about Cena versus Cody. We're going to talk about Daredevil. We're going to talk about A Working Man. And we're going to talk about Reacher. But when it comes to Working Man, I have to say this before we even get into anything. Have you ever felt more lied to by a trailer?
Darkman.
Do you think Darkman was... Well, I guess that was a pretty bad trailer. And it was a pretty bad... Or it was a pretty bad movie. It was a pretty badass trailer.
Yes.
Yeah, it's... Yeah, it like... We'll get into it. But...
The trailer to me... yeah, we'll get into it. Yeah.
Like, because I remember when the trailer came out and you're like, have you seen this trailer? And I'm like, I haven't even heard of that movie. So... And then I watched the trailer and I was like, holy shit. Anyway, so how you doing? How's your week been?
Not too bad. Went to see Disturbed Saturday.
Disturbed. Which
Pretty
one
good
is that?
concert.
Oh, the band. Disturbed.
Yeah.
Down with the
And
sickness.
as much as we picked on it when we went to Raw last month, it's seeing a concert in Heritage with their sound system and their non-existent jumbotron, whatever you want to call it. They need to infuse millions of dollars in upgrading that place.
Yeah.
It's
The acoustics are horrible in there.
awful.
What they need to actually do is tear it down and build something new there.
I mean, to be fair, I think
It's been the Coliseum forever. Like okay, so we're from Cincinnati, guys. The building we're talking about, the Heritage Bank Center or Heritage Bank Arena, is like where it's our like indoor arena. It's where like our minor league hockey team plays. It's where concerts happen. Wrestling happens there, monster trucks, things like that. It's the same building where, if you don't know this, in the 70s, The Who did a concert there and a whole bunch of people got trampled and died. It's the same building. It's never been like wholeheartedly redone. So
no. And to your point, I think it's one of those instances where you probably save time and money if you just
start
fresh, because again, even if you do you would probably have to hollow that place out because again, yes, you can update the sound system, but like you said, the acoustics of it aren't going to change with that.
So, and I mean, you got the great Brady Music Center down the way. You know, that place is great. Like that place is great for wrestling, especially. I imagine a concert would be fun there too. But yeah. So Disturbed. Did you bring earplugs?
No, I mean, we weren't too far. I mean, we were. I will say the one good thing about that place is it's pretty much a decent seat anywhere you go.
Oh, that is
at least the way they had it set up.
Yeah.
So we were in the 200, so it wasn't too bad, like as far as the sound.
Yeah.
But that was one of the things I had thought about. Like, should I bring earmuffs or earplugs? Earmuffs.
What do you have? Someone cursing around you?
But yeah, good concert. Terrible venue.
It happens. You know, it's one of those things.
Yeah.
But that's cool. I'm glad you guys had fun. I can't remember the last time I went to a concert.
Yeah, I don't know actually, because I don't do concerts much.
I used to love going to concerts. And we do like crazy cool concerts, like, Pearl Jam and shit like that. Marilyn Manson. 9 Inch Nails. So, anyway, we're dating ourselves now. Or I'm dating us. But yeah, so a lot of stuff this week. really. So do you want to just hop right into it?
Let's do this.
Let's go. Okay, so Snow Brown and the 7 diversity hires, week 2.
It sucks.
Yeah, not good. Its first Monday, it only made 2.5 million. On that Tuesday, it went up to 4, but then it was like way down. And then over the weekend, it didn't get higher than 6.
Yeah, it's undoubtedly, undubitably a failure in every regard.
Oh yeah.
And as we mentioned, and I know we're talking box office, but I mean, we both knew this. Was it before it opened? I don't know. Last week, no, not last week we talked about it. How the idea was they're probably going to throw all of this blame on Weird Girl, which, let's be honest, she deserves a ton of blame for this.
Right. Oh yeah.
But it sounds weird trying to defend her. It's patently unfair to think that she is the only reason this film sucked, and this film is going to lose hundreds of millions of dollars.
So, well, I guess Gal Gadot was like throwing her under the bus a little bit too. So,
yeah, I heard that. I didn't see what she said.
Like, honestly, like, what's her name? Rachel Zegler did say some pretty horrific things about Jews. So,
yeah, and again,
yeah,
but I would start here. Number one, the idea for the script was awful because they never had the 7 dwarves in there. Don't try to lie to us and say that they did. They had those 7 weird left, whatever you want to call them, diversity hires.
Do one more.
The 7 diversity hire. Weird. And they had to pivot when those images got out.
Yeah.
So number one, the way Disney started it was going to be a disaster anyway. It was absolutely going to be a disaster. And she basically, back in the 90s, I think it was the 90s, the Texas Rangers, they used to call their bullpen the arson squad because when they came in, they would just pour gasoline on the fire because they sucked like that.
Yeah.
That's basically what she did.
Yeah.
She was the arson squad. She took something that was already on fire and she just said, okay, you know what? Let's just dump this whole thing of gasoline right on it. And it was a collective failure, but Disney's going to Disney and not take the blame for anything, and they're looking for a scapegoat. And what a perfect scapegoat, because again, like you said, she put herself in the position to be criticized up, down, left, and right from the things she said.
Yep, she did. She did that, and now she's got to live with that. And unfortunately, I don't think she's going to learn the lessons from it she needed to learn because she's a crazy person.
Okay, one of the things I can't stand about nowadays is when people say cringe. It's over. Stop saying cringe. But I will say this. I preface that because did you see the video of her watching it in the theater?
Oh, with nobody in the theater, and she was cackling like a crazy person?
That was so cringe.
So cringe. Would you say it was the cringiest?
I mean, it's not like Cringer, but
it's not like the cringening.
Nah.
Like the quickening in Highlander, but the cringening where they get you and then you release all your cringe into the world and then they take all your cringe in and then they're more cringe. So the article I found was saying that it needed to gross around 500 million globally to break even. It's closer to 750 after you look at everything. Yeah, it's just not a good it's not a good thing. Not a good movie. Not a good any of it. So yeah. More next week. No, I think this is it for us with the Snow Brown coverage.
I'm done.
Unless she goes nuts and starts dressing up like Snow White and running around. You know what would be funny is if they did a Shrek live action Shrek and just cast her as Lord Farquaad. And if she did it, that would be the best. Like that, like people would like that
Okay.
it would totally redeem her if she did it. Like
If she did that, I would be Shia LaBeouf standing up and clapping.
Right.
Because yeah,
so
that would be her Tom Cruise, Lev Grossman.
Yeah,
or Les Grossman.
Yeah, that you're absolutely right. That's 100% right. Or as ChatGPT would say in your voice, facts. Anyway. Oh, by the way, it's April Fool's Day. We're not participating, so don't worry about that. Everything we're going to talk about today is as real as it has been reported. So,
as real as a $2 bill.
Yes. All right, let's move on. Dude, Cody and Cena were cooking with fire. Or as Guy Fieri would say, cooking with gas. I think, isn't it Guy Fieri that says that? They were cooking with gas last night on Monday Night Raw, live from London. Or I guess yesterday afternoon, as the case may be.
Again, I've done some things. I find myself, because, again, looking for video game news on Reddit most of the time. And I've actually been looking at like some of the Bengals stuff, trying to keep up with what's going on with Trey Hendrickson.
Are you...
So
wait, before you go forward. Are you looking at r/Sydney Sweeney?
No.
You are now.
Not. Okay. All right. So
you're welcome.
I've come across, I've told you this about how some of the stupid stuff, because again, Reddit is a hive of scum and villainy. You will never find a more wretched hive of scum and villainy than Reddit. There are people that are not borderline. Well, anyway. So I've come across wrestling a couple times. Like there's a couple of wrestling threads, and in the last few weeks talking about how the WWE is protecting Cody. Cody sucks. John Cena cooked, and it's so funny because this was mentioned in their promo, whereas like people think you're being protected and all that stuff, and man,
I have a question. How is Cody Rhodes being protected? He wrestles constantly. He gets beat the fuck up. He loses non-title matches, like not all the time, but from time to time.
That's again a wretched hive of scum and villainy, and people whose IQs, are probably lower than average temperature in the winter.
He ate the pin on night 1 of WrestleMania last year. How is that being protected? Yeah. We were like, because do you remember? We were like, who's going to take the pin? It's not going to be Cody.
Right, yeah.
And then it was Cody.
It can't be Cody.
Like, it's not going to be Cody. It's not going to be Roman. So it's going to be Seth. No, it was Cody.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
We thought for sure it was going to be Seth.
Yeah.
But we were positive. I remember that. Yeah. And so, again, people on best days are irrational, but when you talk about stuff like sports and wrestling and movies and all this stuff, people show again, because you have the people that are straight up WWE stans, only WWE, not wrestling.
They're e-drones. They're just e-drones. They don't watch wrestling. They don't. The e-drones don't even watch NXT.
Yeah,
right.
So when they say stuff, I don't know how many times I've shaken my head. I was like, what the hell is this guy talking about, or this person talking about? Like, he's not been protected. And it showed last night because Cena went all in round 1 and was working for that knockout. And he had Cody in the corner, and then Cody came back swinging.
Right.
And then Cena came back, and then Cody. That might have been one of my favorite, it's been one of my favorite, one-on-one promos in a long time.
Oh yeah.
Both guys had memorable lines. The crowd, again, it was great that it was in London, because the crowds these last few weeks, in Europe have been insane. And this was like the culmination of their time there, and having that one-on-one face-to-face and not pulling punches was what people needed to really truly get hyped up for WrestleMania in a couple weeks.
WrestleMania is in 2 weeks. In 2 weeks.
Yeah.
We're going to have to do something. You're going to have to come up and watch WrestleMania. At least night one.
We'll see.
We'll get pizza.
I'm glad you told me that it was. Yeah, I'm still thinking starting at 7. It's like, no, it's in Vegas.
No, it's in like it starts in the afternoon. It's perfect. It's gonna be done by 10 o'clock. I love it. I love it so much.
Yeah, it's funny because this time last year we were getting ready for WrestleMania the following day, weren't we?
It was at the beginning of April because it was the Saturday Sunday of the final four.
Yep.
So, I will say this: the European crowds are great, but I'm real tired of hearing the Europeans being like, "We need to have more wrestling here. We're such better crowds than the Americans." And it's like, no, you guys get one show every 6 years. Of course, you're gonna be hyped for it. Like,
right?
We're spoiled. We get it, but it's ours. Yeah. It's not yours. It's ours. Yeah. Fuck off.
Yeah, you can't compare the two. You cannot compare it.
Plus, we have some sense of decorum. We're not a bunch of football, soccer hooligans, doing stupid shit all the time, like headbutting each other.
This is true.
So, Anyway, but yeah, it's exciting. I'm ready for it. I'm 100% ready for it. So,
and I will say this: I have not at all been feeling the whole Jey Uso Gunther match.
Not at all.
I had not been feeling it at all. And then Gunther just basically murders Jimmy Uso on live TV, which was just diabolical. And the story, the build up for that, actually, I'm kind of excited for it, even though Jey has 3 moves. Still, like that. Gunther put in the work there.
Oh, yeah.
He put in that work.
And here's what sucks is they're going to take the belt off him for that.
They're absolutely going to take the belt off of him.
Yep.
I mean, they absolutely are taking the belt off of him.
Yeah, it's just not good. So, all right. Next topic. Daredevil. The devil of the dare. So why were there 2 episodes this week? Did you ever find out?
I don't know. So. No, I that was kind of weird because they were not. When I had heard at the start of the season there were going to be 2 episodes this week, but I thought it was going to be like more of a part 1 and part 2, but it wasn't.
No, but I'll say this: these episodes worked together.
Yeah, I absolutely like the second one more than the first one. And as you'll see with my rating, I don't think the first one was bad, and parts of it did make sense, but at the same time, you could have made something less filler, but still incorporate some of the things that worked in that episode for the season going forward. That was there was one of my issues with episode 5, and what was the title of that episode?
With Interest,
where Matt is trying to get a loan, an extra loan because he wants, Murdoch and whatever the name of their law firm to expand. And he runs into, spoiler alert, Kamala Khan's dad, who is, if you don't know, Miss Marvel from the Miss Marvel show. And he's, the assistant manager, I believe. And what happens is, rewind back a couple episodes where Vanessa tells the Irish who, they have to pay $1 million or something like $1.8 million,
right?
To the guy, to the other gang that they, killed 2 guys. So the Irish are going to rob the bank to get that money. There was something about this episode that, like you said, there was some stuff that was good, especially with Matt's character. I actually liked the relationship between him and, was it Yusef or what?
Yeah, Yusef.
Yusef. I actually like that guy. but there was something about it that almost felt tacked on to me. And it's one of those things that as I'm thinking about it more, I'm liking it less. The stuff that I liked, I like. Like I said, I like the relationship between Matt and Yusef. I thought they did a fine job. That was pretty much it. That stood out to me. That I'm like, you know what, that was good, and how it leads into Matt going one step closer to putting the cow back on. So in that
regard, say he
regard,
was one step closer to the edge and he was about to break.
well, somebody got broken.
That's not the truth. I actually liked her dad. I didn't watch.
I watched one episode.
I didn't watch any of it because I didn't have access to Disney Plus back then. And I mean, I'm not going to go. Actually, I did kind of watch it because I watched the pitch meeting about it.
So you watched it,
I guess, kind of. If Charlie did a deep fake on it, I'd probably watch it. But that being said, I liked it. What kind of had my head scratching with their interaction was, I don't think he knew he was blind.
I don't. Well, he does mention it later on.
Like he eventually does, but I think he just didn't know.
Yeah, because the way they were interacting at first, like when he shows the Funko Pop and everything.
Yeah,
it was like, dude,
look,
like,
and
what are we doing here?
Wait, and even when because Matt was like, oh, hey, Mr. So and so, and he was like, oh, I'm not Mr. So and so, I'm the other guy, I'm Kamala Khan's like, and honestly, Kamala has to have a talk with him about like the secret identity thing.
Seriously, dude, like,
so.
And again, I don't know if that. Because again, I only watched the first episode of Miss Marvel, so I don't know how everything is, and I didn't watch the Marvels either. So maybe people know about her like they know about Tony Stark. I don't know.
Who knows? But yeah, so I don't know. I think what I liked though was it was Matt using his powers. We got a pseudo hallway fight scene, which was kind of cool. The use of the shotgun for leverage was pretty interesting.
Yes.
I really liked that. I like how he magically stole the red mask.
Yeah, right.
But it was, I don't know. I liked it. It was a heist episode. So I'm like, ooh, I'm automatically like more.
Yeah. You're a heist guy.
Yeah. I'm automatically just kind of more like paying attention and with it. But I will say, this was the first time that New York was a character in the show because it was St. Patrick's Day.
Yes.
Or as my grandma would say, St. Patrick's Day. And it was like, it was finally like a vibrant living scene until we got to the end where he chased down Patty O'Brien, who got out like dressed up like a police officer. And once again, we have another part of New York that doesn't have a single person in it in this show.
Yeah, in the middle of the day.
In the morning. Well, but it's the morning. It's the morning of the parade and everything. But like every side street is packed.
Yeah.
Packed, I tell you. So yeah, I don't know. So let's out of 5, please don't remind us. What do you give this episode?
3 out of 5.
Okay. So this is the first time it's breaking 4 for me. I'm a 4.03. I enjoyed it. I think it's a step in the right direction. And that being said, like it leads into episode 6, Excessive Force, where Matt has finally decided to put everything on. But the more important thing is we get a ton more information about Muse. We learn that Muse is using the blood and some polymer to make the murals, the nightmare murals.
The blood of the innocent.
Yeah, with the blood of the innocents. So that was pretty cool. I did like when the two girls like stumbled upon him and they're like filming and they're like, "Oh, hey, we love your work. That's so great." And then he just yeets them.
And he's like, "Congratulations, you're about to be part of my work."
Guess what? You're a part of the work now. I felt like this was the first episode that is on par with the level of not just storytelling and not just violence, but like just overall appeal as the Netflix show.
Yeah, I tend to agree with that as well. I did like this episode. One because we got to see more of Muse, and also we get to see Kingpin doing a Tony Stark when when Tony Stark talked to at the end of Iron Man 2 when he talked to Thunderbolt Ross, like putting the team together.
Yeah. That scene with Kingpin and the cops was really cool. You know, because he was talking to the guy who like did the right thing. Like, you know, there was a guy trying to sell drugs to an 11-year-old. Like, you know, you go ahead and, you know, take it down. Take the bad guy down. But what was really, really interesting was the Jason stuff with Fisk. Because Vanessa has, like, you know, she doesn't know or does she know that he has
Adam, you mean?
Adam, yeah.
No,
she didn't. Okay.
No, she doesn't.
So and he's like, you know, Vanessa would like me to let you go. But, you know, and then he gives him the axe, and I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. Like, he's so Kingpin. He is so comic accurate Kingpin. It's amazing. I'm so happy they've forgotten about that one show with the deaf cripple girl.
What show?
Exactly. The other cool thing about that scene, it's at the end, is when he is fighting Jason, Matt is fighting Muse.
Adam.
Huh?
Remember.
Adam, sorry, I keep saying Jason.
Adam!
He keeps fighting Adam and baby. And Matt is fighting Muse, and they're like, the way they just float into each other, and like where they're both like punching them in the heads, and like it was so well done. This episode was directed by David Boyd and written by Thomas Wong. I don't know who either one of them are, but they fucking killed it.
I thought, I really like that going back and forth and having the similar actions in the different scenes. Right. Like you said, like marrying up, the punching of the head, I thought that was, like you said, this is the first time in any of these episodes where I looked at an episode with fondness. Yeah. And with the same fondness or a similar fondness, I won't say the same necessarily, but a similar fondness as I did the original.
Yeah.
It had that type of feel. Now, it's still lacking some of the grittiness, but I have to give it credit because what it does here, it shows that again, we said this in the beginning. I didn't like the first episode. I thought the second episode was okay, but it's moving in the right direction.
Yeah, I mean, and that's what you told me.
Culmination of it
when we were talking before I watched these this afternoon. You actually said like this is the first time it's moving in the story, and the first time it's moving in the right direction, and you were 100% right, and I was really happy. I'm definitely going to watch Excessive Force again.
I am too. I want to watch that again.
I think it was like this is the first like great episode of the series so far, and really of anything since the first 5 episodes of WandaVision.
Mm-hmm. So the MCU on Disney Plus has been measured, weighed, and left wanting.
Thank you. Look. Sir Ulrich von Liechtenstein from Gelderland, with Geoffrey Chaucer as your.
I always find that funny. Like, you know how many times if I would have said that, people would have just looked at me like I was crazy.
So, and King Robert in there.
Yeah.
I love Mark Addy. Um, anyway, yeah. So, all right. What did you think of the Daredevil suit? Because this is the first time we've really, really seen it since the first episode. When he was fighting Bullseye in that cloud of smoke for some odd reason. But what did you think? Because it is a different suit. It's a lot redder. It's not as like dark crimson. It's more like, it's not like bright like the Ben Affleck one, which I actually love the Ben Affleck Daredevil suit.
I actually like the suit, yeah.
But like not when he doesn't have the collar like done up. But like, anyway, that being said, I liked it. I thought it was an interesting choice to bring a brighter color palette to it, and I don't hate it. Like I'm not like no.
It's not like the Superman suit.
No, it fit him. So I saw a photo of David Corenswet today where he's like flying, and there's like maybe like a 1/2-inch gap in the neck. Like between his neck and the the suit, and it's just like, yeah, no, that's gonna be horrible for his aerodynamics as he's trying to fly. So,
I really hope that whatever, everything Chris Gore said about it.
Yeah, I still haven't watched that video that you sent me.
I hope this person who's telling him this is right, and this movie is solid and like is good. I won't say solid because solid's not enough for a Superman movie. It's not. So, but yeah. The other thing is Fisk is starting to run into issues with the elite of New York and trying to have them and their money and power back his play of what he wants to do. Like he wants to revitalize, I think it's the docks. And I know one of the individuals that mentions, like, isn't that where you made a lot of your money,
right,
or a lot of your power used to be? So he's finding and like that scene with doesn't that scene with Adam come? Yeah, it comes at the end, and it was almost like him taking out some of his frustration, not just with what Adam did with his wife, but also his frustration on running into a wall of opposition with these elites. So
yeah, again, no, it was just a great all around scene.
Yeah, so. I really thought this was really a good episode, really well done from start to finish.
Yep.
And I'm just hoping that the next, these final 3 episodes that including tonight, lives up.
There's 3 episodes left. Yeah. Next week is the penultimate.
And you just want to say penultimate.
I really did. I look for any excuse to say it. So, mainly, that's the whole reason I do the podcast, is so I can say penultimate. So, but yeah, I'm excited to watch the rest of it. Like I was kind of like, I was really lukewarm coming into this like last week's too, and now I'm like, sweet. Like I might actually like stay up late and watch it tonight.
Yeah,
since it goes might live do that in 4 minutes. So
yeah, I'll either do that or first thing in the morning. I usually do that with my coffee before I get to go to work, start working, because get up. I'm up at 7, and I'm up and ready at 7.
You wake up at 7?
No. When I say I'm up, it's like I'm up and watching at 7.
What time do you wake up?
I don't go to bed at 6:30 at night, man.
I don't go to bed at 6:30 at night either.
Okay, 8 o'clock.
It's 8:57 and I'm awake.
Whatever, Ashton Hall.
What?
Oh, you haven't seen the Ashton Hall guy?
I don't know who that is. I go to bed at 10:30. So
okay.
Last night I might have gone to bed at 9:30. So, but I wake up at 4:30.
If you're tired though.
Every day.
Well, dude, I wake up at 2:30.
Every day.
Every night.
Every day I wake up at 4:30. 7 days a week.
I wake up at 2:30 every day, plus 3:30 every day, plus 4:30 every day.
Yeah, but I get up and go. I like you move. I don't like go back to.
No, what I'm saying is I don't have a full night of sleep because of a certain individual who has four legs, and because I had to, I mean, I guess I could sleep on the couch because he didn't. When I came down on the couch, he didn't bother me.
There you
He
go.
just went to go to sleep. It's like, you bastard. But anyway, yes.
So
I might watch it tonight. I might
fives.
watch it tomorrow.
So
it's 4 out of 5 dueling fight scenes.
Yeah, out of 5
with the banjo playing.
Scenes. Yeah, you did 4.
I gave it a
4.13 out of 5.
Again, moving in the right direction,
Absolutely.
And that's all you. It's all you can ask for.
Cinematography was great in this. So I looked up David Boyd. He worked on Firefly and The Walking Dead and Deadwood.
Oh,
so he's got some actual talent, unlike usual. There was no link to Thomas Wong, and that seems like a pretty common name. So I don't know how much I'll find. So anyway, all right, let's move on to our penultimate topic.
Or disappointment of the week. Disappointment of the week.
So it's like Brand with the bust of the week. Bust of the week.
Yeah.
So this is our bust of the week. A Working Man. So if you are not familiar, which based on the box office, I wouldn't be surprised. A Working Man is a thriller directed by David Ayer, co-written by David Ayer and Sylvester Stallone, based on a Chuck Dixon novel series that follows Levon Cade, who is Statham, a former Black Ops operative who has left his violent past behind to work in construction and care for his daughter. Kinda. His attempts at a peaceful life are shattered when his boss's teenage daughter is kidnapped by human traffickers, compelling Levon to employ his lethal skills to rescue her.
It's Levin. Thank
11.
You very much.
It's Levin, Levon, whatever.
So reading that summary, that's a slam dunk for an easy 6 out of 10.
Oh, especially with Statham. Especially with Statham and
like,
David Ayer.
Dude, like 6 out of 10. I was thinking going into this, thinking a minimum is going to be 6 out of 10. It's going to be very solid, just like The Beekeeper.
Just like The Beekeeper.
And then I watched the movie.
And then we watched the movies. Yes. All right. A couple things. There's no way those two idiots could have kept her kidnapped.
Oh, good. Dumb and Dumber?
Yeah. Viper and Artemis.
Is this BSG? Call signs?
Yeah. So, well, you had the Count. You had whatever the black biker's name. Well, I don't even care. Okay, here's the thing. This had a whole bunch of just Temu Batman villains in it. Like there was a Penguin, there was a Joker, there was, you name it. They had it. And it was all bad.
I mean, and then you had the crazy Russian dudes.
Yep, the crazy Russians who make no sense to me at all. They had their council and they're like, let him live. So, oh my God. It was like, let him fight.
I was thinking when I left the movie theater that in Defter Hands, yes, the Defter Hands, it would have been like a 6 out of 10.
What do you mean Defter Hands? These are all people who make cool shit.
But again, as much as they put in this movie, it would have worked better as a 4-part series, a limited series, because characters just kept coming in. I'm like, okay, we don't need this. You cut out half of the characters, like half of the villains. It streamlines stuff. It allows you to cut at least 20 minutes off of the movie.
Oh, this movie should not have been longer than 85 minutes.
This is one of the few times I will say, you know what? Yeah.
It was It was an hour and 56 minutes long.
Way too long.
They should have cut a half hour out.
I think I said that to you.
Because that was 25. And I saw it and I was like, I'm not going to lie. So when you told me that, I was like, fuck, I already bought tickets.
So I will say I did change that because when I first typed that up, I said 30 minutes. Yeah. And then I think I just changed it a little bit. I was like, okay, I'll give it 5 minutes. Yeah. But Oh my
yeah,
God.
it's just, like there's no way Jenny would have stayed captive though. I'm sorry. Like they just could not. There's no way those two would have been able to keep her under control.
And also, what was the point of him even saying, you know what? I'm not that man anymore.
Yeah.
I can't do it for you. Like, really?
Well, what about
Um,
the whole why is it so important to you? I told a girl I had her back.
yeah.
It's like Dom Toretto's for Family. It's like, what the fuck?
And again, the whole thing with his stepdad,
Yeah.
like that added nothing.
No. That was his father-in-law.
His father-in-law
Yeah.
stepdad. I'm sorry.
So
His
the
father-in-law.
grandpa of the little girl. Like nothing. The little girl added nothing.
No. Nothing.
Nothing. She was cute. It was funny. Have her run in at the end and hug her daddy and be like, oh my God, daddy, I'm so happy you saved that girl and you're alive. Or better yet, oh, daddy, I'm so glad you left me with blind David Harbour and some random woman because they're a better family to me than you. But yeah, this is one of those things that's mind-boggling, right? You see a trailer and you're like, nice. You see you see a movie based on that trailer, Justice League, and it's like, what happened? Where did this go wrong? Like,
I should have thought about that one.
Like, where did this go?
The Justice League.
The Justice League. So, which is the entirety of that movie is in the Snyder Cut. So, like, let's not pretend. Anyway, it was trying to be this weird, like, John Wick thing.
Taken.
Without killing the kid or a dog, or the girl's friend. So, yeah, and that's the other thing too. Is like, why wouldn't you grab the drunk friend too? Just grab them both.
Yeah.
Like, you're human traffickers. You're not like a charity. It's like somebody's going to take that other girl when she sobers up.
Yeah.
I mean, she was a cute white girl. I mean, like, definitely people are going to pay top dollar for that.
I was just again, with that summary that you read a few minutes ago, there is no way.
This is the summary of the movie by the people who did the movie.
Gosh.
So, yeah. And like, he's close with the Garcia family. How? He worked for them. Like there was no like connective tissue other than he was their employee. Mm-hmm. And when the guy on the at the job site was getting roughed up, like, that didn't tie into anything other than to show that he can beat some ass, with a shovel and a bag of cement.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it was, again, offered nothing.
I did like his rifle at the end.
Oh yeah.
I would
saying goodbye to an old friend.
I would like that M15.
Yes.
So, or M14, whatever it was. It was a lovely piece of hardware that I would appreciate and shoot often and lovingly. Anyway, so let's just cut our losses here and talk about something we like. So, out of 10, could there be any more Temu Batman villains in one movie?
I have 4.25. I don't even know why I added the 0.25, to be honest.
You said a 5, like leaning towards 5.5. So your score definitely went down throughout the week. Mine stayed at a 4 because, I'm going to be honest, until I wrote the show notes, I didn't think about this movie once after I saw it. So.
I actually didn't either. Like, the only time after I saw it and after I, thought about it, that day, throughout the day after watching it, I have not thought about it again except when you would mention it. Yeah. So
I was afraid Jen was gonna like it and be like, "Great, we haven't even been married for 6 months. We gotta get divorced." I mean, so, but she hated it too. It only made $16.8 million opening weekend. It only made 33 million worldwide. It beat Snow Brown by under $1 million to be the number one movie in the box office. Oh, yes.
No, I gave it a 5 out of 10, and I said that might be generous.
Okay.
That was definitely generous.
Fair. Yeah, definitely generous. All right, you ready?
Yes.
Okay. So, Reacher.
That happened.
That definitely happened. Wow. I mean, what a way to kind of go out for the season. Another thing with Russian mobsters, though.
Dude. Anytime I think about Russian mob, I think of Jeremy Johns' review of John Wick back in the day. He's like, we're Russian bad guys, and it's like, hey, why are we always the bad guy?
Why does Baba Yaga have to come after us? Oh, you killed this puppy and you stole his car. I see. You did the one thing that makes John Wick upset. Now we all will die. Thank you for that. Yes, for that. Yeah.
And that Russian mob boss was one of those guys you see all the time.
Well, he's that guy. Yeah, he's that guy.
Yes.
Russian mobster. So, yeah. Okay. So we pick up where last episode left off with the trap. The trap has been sprung. They're trying to kill Zachary. Duffy and Vasquez and Reacher fight their way out. All the ATF agents that are there die. All the criminals that are there die. And then they somehow manage to save Zachary, which is cool, and then get back to Zachary's house to save Richard and get Quinn. From there, I feel like it was kind of just like balls out for the rest of the episode. Oh,
because it was.
I mean, it
absolutely was.
You had Reacher like literally die 3 times fighting Paulie.
Yeah.
We'll get to that. You had Duffy just being a fucking badass looking for Teresa, finding her. And then who knew Vasquez had that in him? He went full John McClane. All the way down to the wife beater.
Yeah. Villanueva,
thank you. So, but yeah.
I gotta say, I was pretty much on the he's gonna retire. He might be.
Yeah, he was on the way out. And they didn't do it. I'm not happy they didn't do it either because I liked him.
Yeah, I like that him as a character. And
we can't forget Neely. And the reason Villanueva was in full John McClane regalia was because he was wearing the same color shirt as the wait staff, so Neely could go undercover, which was amazing. And I can't wait for the Neely show.
Yeah, I love that line where she talks to the head waiter, and she's like, "Hey, I'm undercover. We're researching, or we're looking into one of your people stealing money." And he mentioned a guy's name, and she mentions that person like, we think it's him, which got that guy like right into, we're back to me type stuff. But to your point, that was the setup, and then everything happened all at once. It seemed like.
So the Paulie fight was happening, all this fighting in the house was happening. So Reacher fights Paulie, and it was. I mean, just that man that played Paulie is huge. Just ginormous, huge. But that fight scene was really, really good because Reacher had to use his brain. I like the whole "you're bigger, but I'm smarter," line. That was great. But I felt like the fight went the way it should have gone because of how they shot it, because of how they obviously wrote the scene, how he went through it, and Reacher just having that just never give up, sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say they absolutely laid into that just over the top nature in
Oh
that
yeah.
fight. I
Yep.
mean, again, I think this season more than the first two kind of leaned it to the over the top nature of what Reacher has become.
Hmm.
Not in a negative way, but just in a factual way. That's what. And it again, I was looking forward to this fight, since day one, since well, not even day one, since we saw the first
Oh
trailer,
yeah.
and it did not disappoint. I mean, there were a couple of times where it's like, okay, that's it, and it's like, oh no, that's
No.
it. But wait, there's more.
And then
That happened a couple times.
the way he killed Polly was like he just used his head. He knew what was going to happen and he set it up to happen because details matter.
Yep.
Um so yeah, so there's that. Then you had the thing between Quinn and Zachary and Richard.
Hmm.
And Zachary pulled out the cap gun and was holding like kind of holding Quinn at bay for a moment to get Richard out.
Hmm.
And I knew something was going to happen. I knew it. And the epoxy didn't have the full 24 hours to cure. And the gun kind of fell apart. And that was the end of Zachary.
Yes. Quinn made sure of that.
So, yeah, he really did. And at least Zachary had that nice moment with Richard before he finally like passed, and then
Hmm.
Villanueva came in and like protected Richard. That's when he was scrapping with some little kung fu master in the bathroom. Like it's like didn't I see this in a Mission Impossible movie with Tom Cruise and Henry Cavill?
Yeah.
So, but it was really good. That stuff was cool. And then you had Neely kind of like clearing out the house and that sort of thing. Why that was going on. Why Duffy was getting Teresa out, even though she was like juiced to the gourds on drugs and probably heroin. I guess that was what he gave her. But yeah, so that was cool. And then we had this like standoff at the end because Neely quit go thinking and grabbed the money. And so the Russians were like,
Grenade.
oh yes, and a grenade. So the Russians were like, oh no, we're gonna keep him, and take the money. And she's like, no, I have this grenade, which it turned out it wasn't a real grenade. It was kind of like Ron Swanson's mortar on his or not mortar, his mine on his desk. But the cool thing was like they were like, no, we're going to take the money and we're going to take Quinn, and they were both like, you're not. And then Teresa steps out and he's like, where's not Teresa, Duffy steps out and he's like, where's Teresa? And she's like, oh, she's Stave. And she's like just behind the bush behind her.
Yeah.
that was the most Duffy thing that happened all season. Like she just she's like she just spent all this time to try and get this girl back because she promised her mom.
Yeah.
And then she like literally leaves her in a spot where like one stray bullet and she's gone.
It reminded me of Lethal Weapon too, when
Yes.
they brought Leo to
when they when they left him in the truck.
When the captain was like, you brought a witness.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, you're killing me. But yeah, so that was pretty cool. And then they made their deal, and Reacher and Quinn were out there. And when he mentioned Cole, that's when Quinn's memory
That was awesome.
kicked back in.
And I don't know the name of the actor, the Quinn actor, but I love the way he played that. Where Reacher said her name was Dominique.
His name is Brian Lee. He is Drift King.
Brian.
And you need to put some respect on your mouth about him, because he is the Drift King of Tokyo.
But his reaction to that,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
that dawning.
Oh, he's like, I'm fucked. Because last time I went up against this guy, I died.
And then Reacher was like, yeah. And Reacher saw the moment he recognized everything
Yep.
came back. And yeah, you're not living with the shotgun well, I've seen people live with a shotgun blast to the face, but
Yeah, but not when it pink mists your head.
no, not like that.
So, and then you had, Reacher saying bye to Neely and Duffy and all that. And then Richard disappears with some cash. Was great. Like, Richard's going to go have a nice life. And then Reacher steals a motorcycle and rides off into the sunset.
I loved how he just took that. That was awesome.
Right. So, yeah. All right. So the finale. Out of 5 stolen, but not really stolen motorcycles, what do you give it?
The finale, another solid 4 out of 10.
4 out of 5.
4 out of 5. 4 out of the 10 is coming up. 4 out of 5. It did its job. Nice little bow on this final season on season 3.
Season 4 is already approved. So Neely's almost done shooting. I think they go into shooting in a couple weeks. For 4. I thought I read that. I might have been mistaken. I might have fever dreamed that because I was very excited to see that 4 got picked up.
So yeah, good solid, good episode, good ending, good finale. Everybody was happy, or mostly everybody lived happily ever after.
I mean, the people who needed to live happily ever after lived happily ever after. But all right. So for season 3 out of 10, there's always a bigger fish, because that was kind of the theme of this season. Like, Polly was bigger than Reacher, Quinn was bigger than Zachary, and then the Russians were bigger than Quinn, right? It was just never escalating like scale. So out of the 10, there's always a bigger fish. What do you give season 3?
Again, this was a solid 8 out of 10. I really enjoyed this season. Again, I had to get my mind right and change how I was thinking about it. But once I did, hey, this is an over the top show, and it stays true to those roots. And if you want something more serious, like I mentioned before a few weeks ago, Terminal List is a good start. Yeah. There are others out there, but if you just want to just pure fun, Reacher's pretty dang good on that part.
Hell yeah. So I went 8.21 out of 10. I thought it was a solid season all the way through. There was some meandering in a few episodes for things. The will he, won't he kill the ATF agent with the guy in the cabin went on for too long. But I understand why it did. But other than that, it was really interesting for the first time to see Reacher like out of his depths with the undercover stuff, because he's someone who is so good at controlling the plan when the plan is constantly changing. It was really interesting to see how he reacted and how he improvised for things. It was a nice like twist on the character, and he got a cool motorcycle at the end. So
yeah,
congrats. But yeah, I thought it was good. I think if I had to rate the 3 seasons, it's 1, 2, 3 for me. Like,
I think mine might. I'm not 100. It's definitely 1, and I think it. I don't know. It's a toss up between 2 and 3. Mm-hmm. I might give 2 the edge because of Reacher's special investigator, because of that storyline of the special investigators and the ones and the camaraderie between the 4 of them. Right. I'm thinking I'm giving season 2 the edge just because of those 4.
Yeah, that's fair.
And the tagline.
What was the tagline?
Don't mess with the special investigators.
Is that a tagline as much as it's anyway? All right. Well, we've come to the end of the podcast. Anything else you want to add?
No.
Okay.
Doop.
Oh yeah, I forgot to put the template in the folder to pull the audio into. Anyway, all right. On that note, thank you guys for listening. we're going to go now. We're going to come back next week and talk about Daredevil. What else are we talking about?
We'll find something.
Yeah. We have something really cool kind of like in the back that we want to do, but we just have to find a chance to like have a week where we can just talk about that. So maybe when Daredevil's done in 2 weeks, we'll do our special evergreen episode that we both did a bunch of homework for. So
yeah, sounds good.
We would have done it earlier, but I got sick. So blame me. It's my fault. So
blame Canada.
Everything's my fault. Well, yeah, true. Blame Canada. Absolutely. Blame those guys. They suck. Except for like my Canadian friends. Like you guys just suck less. Anyway, on that note, thank you for listening. We'll be back next week. Have a great day, night, evening, weekend, wherever you are, and we will talk to you later.
See ya.
The Infamous Podcast is recorded in Kings Mills, Ohio, just north of Cincinnati. You can find new episodes every Sunday on Apple Podcast, YouTube, Spotify, Google Podcast, our website, or anywhere podcasts are downloaded. This show is hosted by Daryl Jasper and me, Brian Tudor. To find more information about the show, visit us at infamouspodcast.com and follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Infamous Podcast to keep up with the show. We also have a Patreon page, patreon.com/Infamous Podcast. We have some great rewards for our patrons and are looking for help to grow the show to bring you more of the content you want to hear. Music for this podcast is provided by Michael Henry from meetmichaelhenry.com. So, whenever you're listening to us, have a great day, night, evening, weekend, whenever it is, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for listening.